Listen, this guy, what can you say about this guy? He's one of those guys. He's one of those dudes. He's one of those guys you're like, I know a guy that does all of the things. All of them. Does he act? Yeah. Is he an artist? Yeah. Does he paint? Sure. Does he play drums? He does. Also, he probably decorates. What else do you think he does?
He writes poetry?
Of course he writes poetry.
He definitely makes sourdough.
He makes his own sourdough, I believe it.
He makes his amazing vegan spaghetti.
He makes vegan spaghetti.
Yeah.
It's
delicious.
Crazy. Ask him all the things. There's so many things.
Trims his own beard.
Well, maybe. It's so perfect. It's probably a professional. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the one and the only, Mr. Jeffrey Vincent Parise. There it is. See you, buddy.
Thank you, gentlemen. Damn. Yeah, baby. What's up, Philadelphia? It's my first time here. And what's up with your architecture? Holy shit. Wow, that center.
Because of Boston, it's better.
Oh, damn. Those are fighting words.
Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, I was walking around the Center City building. Oh my God, just blown away. The whole building was like a museum. And then when I walked into the Trader Joe's, they were playing Carry On My Wayward Son. I was just walking around that whole place like, nobody recognized me. I'm like, no? Okay. Where's the oat milk, please?
We'll recognize you in Boston.
Yeah, Boston!
Yeah!
So, wow, it's been a little while since I've been in one of these, and yeah, lots to catch up on. Let's see. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know if you guys have heard or not, but Billy and Jason and I made an album. And I'll tell you the origins of this album. We were all in Rome together. I know it's not Boston, but we were in Rome and we were all out. We were all out drinking, telling some stories, and then we all, played music. And I played percussions. And I had told this story about my time in Guatemala, and it involved circus, volcanoes, orphanages, all the basic stuff. And Jason the next day was like, hey man, do you want to maybe try and tell that story while you're playing your drums on stage? And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can drum and talk at the same time. And he said, well, what about like a poem or something? And I said, that I think I can do. And I had this poem that I'd had in my head for a while, and Billy came out, and I said, play some sparse vibey stuff. So he starts playing, and I start playing my drum, and the poem came out, and you could hear a pin drop. And then it was done, the whole place went nuts. So it worked. And I got off stage, and Jason was like, I'm gonna make an album of about 4 or 5 of those. And so that's what we've been doing the last year. Billy's on guitar, and he produced them. And I brought in a friend who's just a brilliant horn player. And I'm on percussions and doing spoken word, telling stories, and some poems. And turned out better than I could have possibly imagined. It was one of these things where it was like, it was never in the cards. It's the power of yes, when you just say yes to things that come your way. And we made it into a vinyl. And as we speak, the only way to hear the whole thing is on vinyl. Or, we're having a listening party tonight. And this is going to be special. Whoever is there will be among the first people in the world to hear the full album. Yeah, babies! And then we'll talk about it afterwards. But I just did one of these in Los Angeles, where I'm from. And it was one of the most profound nights of my life, because not only was it a listening party for this album, it was also a solo art show, and I had made a whole new series of paintings. I don't know if who else familiar with any of my art, but I've been painting for 25 years plus. And I had this one series that I've been doing for 23 years called Naked and Famous. And it's life-size portraits of people that I've known throughout the years. And there's over 200 of these portraits in this series. And this new series is a culmination, or it's a marriage of the old series with new ideas. So what I did was I took some of the old paintings, and these are ones that have either A, maybe the person never really liked it, or B, maybe I never really liked it, or C, I just thought, this is probably gonna be with me for the rest of my life, so let me do something a little different here. I'm gonna back up just a little bit. One of the spawns of it was that I've been, in the past couple of years, been doing a lot of shadow work. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, but that's like when you sort of face the darkest corners of your soul, and you take them head on, and you deal with whatever it is that's not working and making, or whatever it is that's not making your life workable, and you deal with it head on. And it's not easy, but then on the other side of it, there's this lightness and this joy and this childlike abandon. And so there was that. And then there was, I had inherited a bunch of canvases from this artist who had passed. Now, a lot of these canvases were paintings, but a lot of them weren't finished. And so those ones I felt comfortable painting over. But there was still a part of me that was like, man, there's a lot of, they're unfinished, but I painted over them, and as I was doing it, I was like, look, this is not a cover-up, it's a collaboration. Let's collaborate together on this one. And then I started thinking of my own paintings, like, that could possibly happen at some point in my life where I could pass, and if they're not handled correctly, they could end up in a thrift store being painted over, who knows? And I think as an artist, that's kind of one of those other voices that are trying to get at you. And so I was like, you know what, let me face that fear as well, and let me paint over some of my own paintings. So along with all that shadow work and that whole series, I painted the figures black and kept the same background that I had used. And once I left the eyes so you can see the soul of the painting and of the person. And then once the black dried, I took colored chalk and just started making all these sort of instinctual childlike designs. And I presented that, there were like 16 of these, and I presented that same night. And so it was this really interesting night of combining old work and making it new work. Because this album, 3 of the tracks on there were written when I was in my early 20s. And I had held on to them for a very long time. And I went over most everything I'd ever written just to see what was going to make this album. And these 3 had always stuck with me. And so it felt right to pair this series of paintings with this album. And what it taught me, and what I'm hoping, especially the album will inspire in others, is to not be afraid to maybe look back at some of your old stuff. I'm sure a lot of you are writers in here, or artists, or musicians, or or this could go with a lot of different things, but for me specifically, it's art, because a lot of times back then, we were really onto something, and we just let it go, and because life happens and keeps going. And what I kind of saw happen was I got to collaborate with this young version of myself, now having a lifetime of experience and wisdom. I think we made a pretty good collaboration team, and maybe you guys will be inspired to go back and look at some of your old stuff and rework it, because life like art and art like life, as long as it survives and as long as we're still here, there's always room to make it better and more beautiful. Shall we move on to questions? Does anyone have any questions? Hi.
Hi. So my friend is a huge Barnes Courtney fan.
Yeah, me too.
She's not here, but she wanted me to ask you, his song Supernatural, who do you think from the Supernatural cast would be the best to sing that at like the SNS concert?
Asmodeus, of course.
Perfect.
By the way, I painted Barnes Courtney in the series of Naked and Famous paintings that I'm talking about.
Yes, that's what she had told me as well. So she was really excited to hear your answer on that.
He's awesome. He's a really good friend of mine. Super talented, incredibly funny. Yeah. If you guys haven't heard of Barnes Courtney, do yourselves a favor and check out his music. He's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
I was just wondering if you could talk about like the acting process of playing like a villain. Like, how's that different from playing like, say, a non-villain, I guess?
I love playing villains because it really is a chance to do things that you would never do in life, and so I feel like you have to find the justification for it, and I think in finding that justification, it gives you a deeper understanding of the human condition and why people do shitty things that they do. Not that it's justified, but like it's just a little deeper of an understanding. And a more well-rounded, I feel like, experience of life, because knowing that like a lot of that is possible in a lot of people, and it's through the non-villain acts that we practice every day that keep us from being villains.
Thank you.
Thanks. I don't know. Hi.
Hi, I'm Lizzie.
Hi, Lizzie.
I was just curious between like acting, painting, music, which one feels like it comes easier to you, or more like home?
More like, what was the last thing?
More like home, like which one do you feel like you can dive into the most? Or they all kind of?
I mean, acting is the granddaddy art of all of them. Like I really got into that deep, and that's the one that sort of, and not that it comes easy, but it feels very natural. It does feel natural. And at this point, music feels very natural as well. But they all feel like different limbs on the same animal. But they feed different parts of the soul. But I just, acting is my first love, and to be like, when I'm able to really get into a character that, say, maybe I've never had before, like a prince of hell or a demon, it's just amazing. It's just like, there's nothing like that for me, because it feels almost more alive than life. Because it's so, when you're doing the scenes, there's just so much intention and attention and focus on what's happening in that moment. So it feels very alive.
Thanks.
Thank you. Hi.
I have a question about Asmodeus' motivations. So he was punished really badly by Lucifer when he got above himself and wanted to prove himself.
Yeah.
And initially he was appeared to be loyal to Lucifer until Lucifer actually came back and proved to be weak, at which point you got it. So do you think that his motivation was because he was punished, or is it just sort of demon nature? Or were there some demons who were loyal to Lucifer, but not you?
I think that his loyalty only went so far as to how much more powerful Lucifer was over him. It was, I think, more of a survival thing. I think he wanted to impress him, and I think he wanted to be up there with him. And then when he got knocked down, in very demon nature, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that sculpture where the wings are wrapped around him and he's just like plotting and planning and waiting until he can get his revenge. And then he did.
And do you think he was emboldened because he had actually captured Gabriel?
Yeah, and he had the juice, he had the power. Finally had the power.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi.
Hi, my name's Addie, and my question is, which supernatural character do you relate to the most?
Asmodeus. Because I had the most time to relate to him, and kind of, I loved playing him. I loved his charm, his attitude, his evilness. Yeah, he was so much fun to play. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
His style, I like his style too. Hi.
Is it my turn? Okay.
What's up, Boston?
I have not.
Do you guys know she's from Boston? I don't know if you guys picked that up or not.
Yes, and anyone who's from Boston, I will let Boston know that you're here. You know what I mean? Okay. I have not seen all of Supernatural. It's my first.
How dare you?
I know. I was like, someone was like, "Do you want to come to Supernatural Con?" And I was like, "Yes," but I've only seen up to season 13.
So you have seen season 13 though?
Yes.
Okay, she can stay.
Yeah. So I'm like almost there. I haven't seen anything else. I'm a little bit spoiled. I'm not a little bit spoiled. It's mostly just a question to you as a person who's graduated with a bachelor's in an art degree. Like, where can I find your art? Where can I find the things that you have created so that I can look at it?
Well, I have a website.
Okay.
The website's I gotta upgrade it, but that's one place. Okay. Instagram is a big place. I have Instagram. That's Jeff Parise, and then there's also a link to my art Instagram on there.
Perfect.
But there's also at my autograph table, I've brought a bunch of prints that'll be available, and go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably gonna go find a place to get your autograph too.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be able to see a bunch of the paintings, and each of these prints they become an original piece of art because I hand embellish them with gold leaf and I sign and number them. And yeah, so you'll have an opportunity to get an original piece of art. Hell yeah, nice.
Yes, perfect. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, my name's Jenny, and
Hi, Jenny.
I'm here because I've been Supernatural in less than 10 months, so that's one thing.
Nice.
And I just heard you talking about all your writer's experience, your art experience. So as a singer and a writer myself, I just want to know how you get past like art blocks and writer's blocks, because I've been having a bunch lately and I just haven't done like anything at all. So I just need like inspiration basically.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you how I did it with painting. It was during that series of paintings that I was telling you about that have over 200 in there, and a lot of it was scheduling. Schedule. That's the same with writing. I've written some scripts before too, and it's 100% about scheduling. So with the paintings, there were real people that were coming over to be painted, so like I had to, whether or not I was inspired or not, I had to paint, because they are taking their time and they're standing there and I'm painting them. And with writing, you just have to commit to yourself on a schedule. Like say if it's songs, 1 hour, even 2 times a week or 3 times a week, take 1 hour where you shut your phone off and you sit in a room and you just try it, even if you're not motivated. If you're not motivated, you sit there and strum and say, I am not motivated, this sucks. This sucks, I'm not motivated, this sucks. And then you just never know what's gonna happen in minute 15, or minute 20, or minute 30. But if you do yourself that favor and give yourself an hour, 3 times a week. If it's too daunting, start with 2 times a week. And you're gonna love it because you're gonna start to see results. And results is what will get that passion back. Because you have to be the stoker of your own flame. Nobody's gonna come along and be like, we're waiting to hear your songs. They're not. I mean, later they will. But like when we're starting out, when we're doing this, especially when we're doing it for the sake of art, it's for you. It's that feeling of creating something from nothing, something beautiful from nothing that you can share with people and that they can then maybe relate to and connect with. You'll see the gift that gives you, and that'll be then the motivation that will start to drive you. But I know it's hard in the beginning, like it could, there's a lot of whys, like why am I doing this? What is going on? But it'll start to, it will answer its own questions. But schedule.
Okay, thank you.
Can't wait to hear one of your songs. Hi.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, and I was wondering if you could talk to us a little bit about how you perfected that perfect Asmodeus voice, and maybe you could say a little something like Vincent. That would be great.
Well, I don't know which voice you're talking about. I had been to New Orleans recent, like a little bit before that audition, and I was just eating up that accent. I loved it. And the audition sort of described him as a sort of a Southern gentleman, and that's just like, there are some accents that come very easy to me, and then there's others that, like, an Australian accent, I'm fumbling all over the place, but that sort of Southern accent come very easy to me.
You nailed it.
Thank you very much. Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Fantastic, never better. How you doing?
Pretty good, this is my first time.
Oh, welcome, yay!
So, I don't know if you've been asked before, and I don't know if you know, but were the Yellow-Eyed Demons, the Princes of Hell, were they additional fallen angels that fell with Lucifer?
Say that again?
Were, like in Milton and everything, there were multiple fallen angels that followed Lucifer after he fell. I was wondering if the Yellow-Eyed Demons were previously angels, and that was part of why they were so powerful, rather than fallen humans. Because Lilith was supposed to be the first demon.
Ooh, good question. Damn. I don't know. Does anybody know if Yellow-Eyed Demons are also fallen angels? I'd like to think so.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would think, yeah, it would make sense with Asmodeus. It's like he kept his white suit. I could see big white wings behind Asmodeus. Like.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry. Hi.
Hi. So I watched the show, originally way back when, but I'm rewatching it with my daughter now, and we just got to season 13.
Nice.
And I was just wondering if you could give us your best Asmodeus.
You mean like I just did? You mean say the name?
Yeah.
I'm Asmodeus.
That's pretty good.
Thanks. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi there.
Hi, Jeff. I'd like to know, would you rather have a pet dragon or a pet unicorn?
A pet dragon or a pet what?
Unicorn.
Oh, dragon all the way.
Why?
Yeah. Well, because I could ride both of them, but a dragon can fly and cook my meals for me. Keep me warm at night. How about you? What would you rather have?
I think I'd
rather have a dragon as well.
Why?
Because, you know, flying and having
Hot
fire
meals?
having fire at your disposal.
Yeah.
Get your pyro tendencies.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is that you? Oh. Hi. Yeah. So what are you guys doing?
She was just vetting my question.
Oh, nice. Yeah, they're vetted.
So, Ode to a Roach, what drew you to use insects as metaphor or inspiration?
For the album? It is explained on the album, but I'm gonna take another direction with it. Right around the time I was writing a lot of these poems, I was also doing this short film, and the way we were making the short film is not how you make short films. It was like this really long process of these improv rehearsals, and through those improvs, we created the script. But my character was a young homeless street poet named Roach, and I carried around a pet cockroach with me in a jar during this process. And this process was also unique because the producer of it was a real estate agent, and he knew about this foreclosed house, and we used that house as our rehearsal place / squat house. And we really got into the homeless aspect of the film, and this little crew of actors and the director would all stay at this house. I quit my job, all this. You're not supposed to, this is not how you make a short film. But the experience was incredible. We were doing it in the style of Mike Leigh, who is an English film director, and that's how he makes films. He gets a crew of actors together, a subject, and you improv rehearsals, and that creates the script. But this one was a short film, and no one was getting paid. So, but anyway, that doesn't matter. So I was into Charles Bukowski at the time, and he was a big influence at the time with the poems I was writing. And I would read poems and short stories to everybody before we fell asleep from Charles Bukowski. And there was one night, it was a hot summer night, and I had put a piece of caramel in the jar for my roach as a treat. And that night I was reading this story, a short story from Charles Bukowski, and I was doing this voice that I had never done with a cadence that was very strange, and I finished the short story, and everybody was like, damn, that was cool and weird, and what was that voice? The next morning, I woke up, and it had been so hot that night that the caramel had melted, and my roach got stuck in it and died. And then someone comes up the stairs with a newspaper, because it was newspapers back then, and said, hey, did you hear? Charles Bukowski died last night. Yeah, weird. I'd like to think that maybe he was floating around in the celestial realm before he, went to wherever he's going, and he was like, are they reading my short story? What the hell's going on there? Who knows? Maybe.
So it was more to a person in time in your life. So it was more to a person in time in your life.
Yes, but I also learned, in that time, I learned some very important lessons from roaches that you'll have to come to the listening party to find out. See you there.
If worlds collided, do you think that the original 80s Ghostbusters would be able to quote unquote bust Asmodeus?
Not a chance.
Cocky.
Not a chance. Did you see what I did to that bartender when I just... Come on, man. Hi.
Hi, I'm back. Better question this time, I think. Where can we pick up the vinyl? Like, when is it
Oh,
going to be released?
there's at Jason's table.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, it's on his label.
Okay.
And it's his first vinyl that he's pressed for the label. We agreed to, you know, there's big money in poetry albums on vinyl. But we agreed that like this is an art piece, and that like in this day and age where robots are coming for the soul, that making a poetry album on vinyl was an act. It was a revolutionary act. So. And you can also get it on his website.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
How different was it working on the set of a soap opera versus a weekly show like Supernatural?
How different was it?
Yeah.
She asked how different was it working on a soap opera. I don't know if you guys know, but I was on General Hospital for 3.5 years. Viva la Carlos! Which, by the way, I'm about to do a podcast on Sunday. It's going to air with Maurice Bernard, Sonny Caritos. It's very different. It's very different, and I love them both. I think it's like soap opera is like punk rock, and a weekly show is like, especially a weekly show like Supernatural, is like you're playing with a symphony. And it's because it's like it's so fast and loose and quick. Like if you get the words out of your mouth, they're moving on. It doesn't matter. Like, and then the amount of dialogue that you take in, and the amount of scenes that you do on a soap is just so completely different. It's like, but I love them both for different reasons. But the main reason is like they're both just it's acting. And this soap also felt like a little more like theater. It was like opening night every day. 'Cause, yeah, sometimes there's these massive scenes that you just got to get in one take, and there's no coverage or no cuts, and then you're just moving on. It's fast. But I loved it because like I'd never been able to play a character for that long. It was 3.5 years, and I felt like I grew exponentially as an actor, as a person, everything. Like, and it was also the first time. This isn't part of that question, but it was the first time that like this is when Twitter was kind of start popping. The first time I was getting feedback, like this type of stuff. These conventions and these Q&As and stuff, it's incredible for an artist of any kind to like get feedback of people that have actually been moved by their work or inspired or touched or anything, because up to that point I think I was like close to like 20 years in, and I would do things and it was great, it was fun, I was making a decent living, and just eking it out, but like you'd do it and it would just disappear into a void, and is anybody listening? And so when I first started doing the soap, you do an episode and then you go on your Twitter and it's like you're out in the lobby of the theater and you're like, hey, thanks. But then there's also, the flip side of that where I was like, why are you so greasy looking? And like, I hate this guy, you should die. So, but they're both great. I like them both.
Thank you. And I love the way you would say Sabrina.
Sabrina!
Thank you.
Thanks. All right.
Ask you a question if you want one.
Any more? Oh, yes, please.
So I believe that we as people are an amalgamation of the people we love and the media and art that surrounds us. So what is one piece of media that you pass on to those you love because it has affected you?
God, so much. So much. I think the first thing that came to mind was a film from Wim Wenders called Wings of Desire. It's perfect. it's poetry, it's philosophy, it's spirituality. There's the acting in it is wonderful. The cinematography is incredible. Subject matter. In fact, fun fact. Castiel is dressed like one of the angels in Wings of Desire. Fun fact. And I remember asking Misha if that was a inspiration for it, and he was like, "Wow, you're one of the first people who've clocked that." But like, it's a film about angels, Wings of Desire, and it's beautiful. So there's that. There's so many. There's paintings by Egon Schiele, paintings by Van Gogh. Oh gosh, music. Dead Can Dance. I don't know if you guys have heard of Dead Can Dance, but if you, yes, God. And this crowd especially, you guys would love it. If you like Supernatural, you would love, if you haven't heard Dead Can Dance, that's, if I could only listen to one band for the rest of my life, it would be them. Yeah. Thank you. That was a great question.
I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, first I want to say go Birds. Go Birds! Eagles! And I want to know, what NFL team are you rooting for?
What?
What NFL team are you rooting for? And it better not be the Cowboys.
I don't watch NFL, sorry. I know. I'm a nerdy artist, dude. I don't watch sports. Woods, go sports! Yes! Sports, yes! I watch UFC though, which is a weird, I know, it's like, my friends are like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? I'm all yoga and meditation and poetry and UFC, fuck yeah. Yeah, I love, oh, look at the puppy. Oh. Any other questions? Do we have any questions? Should I start beatboxing? Yeah. Let's see what else. Anybody watch The Rookie? You might be seeing someone coming up pretty soon. Yeah, last week was an incredible week. Not only was it the record release and the art show, we did The Rookie and found out about this. Like, it's life is good when it's good. Let's see, what else? Any other questions? There we go, nice. Fortune favors the bold.
Hi, hello.
Hi.
I'm Lorraine.
Hi, Lorraine.
This is kind of a joke. Do you have an Apple charger?
Do I have an Apple charger? No. Yes? Yeah, not on me.
Oh. Now my real question is, are you superstitious at all, or do you believe in like actual magic, or like ghosts or demons, or?
God, I go back and forth. I mean, it's like I don't disbelieve, but I don't fully believe. Yeah. It's tough. I mean, because most things can be explained. It's those few things that can't be that get me going, huh? Like my house makes all kinds of strange noises, and most people, a lot of people that are there are like, oh, it's totally haunted. I know these things, it's haunted. But usually it's like, the weather's changing, it's an older house, it's settling in, sometimes when the wind blows, it sounds like, help me! It's gonna be explained. Get out! I'll kill you in your sleep! It's the wind and the settling of the house,
Oh yeah.
So, California earthquakes shift houses. Get out! Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Fantastic, never better.
Good. We always love to hear that. So I have a kind of odd question.
A what question?
Odd.
Good.
So, if you could describe yourself as a scent, what would it be?
As a what?
Scent.
Scent?
Yes.
Palo Santo. If you know, you know.
Oh. Well then,
There it
what
is.
would you describe as Medea's scent then? Would it be the same or would it be different?
No, his would be, probably ash. Burnt coals. Yeah.
All right, I love that.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. So, coming from someone who actually has a dad that fights for a living and owns a gym, if you were in the UFC, what would your walkout song be?
What would my what?
Your walkout song be?
Oh man, probably Asmodeus, 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 Asmodeus. Either that or I'd probably go something, you know, very on the nose, like I'm gonna knock you out, or you know, LL Cool J. Yeah, it'd be so embarrassing though if I got knocked out with that walkout song. Should probably happen. Yeah, I always like the guys though that come out with like just the complete opposite of what you would think they'd be coming. Like a lot of guys coming out like with Britney Spears playing, and they're just like getting all weighed in, getting ready to fight to the death with, you know, Britney Spears. No, thanks. Here's some warm-ups. Oh, one more question, and then it looks like the time has come.
How would you describe yourself as an ice cream flavor?
As a what?
Ice cream flavor?
Ice cream flavor?
Like the flavor of ice cream and any mix-ins?
I would say I would be the flavor of roaches. Yeah, speaking of which, there's gonna be a listening party tonight at 7:30. Ode to a Roach. You'll be the only people in the world that have heard the entire album. Come to this exclusive event at 7:30, only here in Philadelphia.
Sounds delicious. Thank you.
Hey, get your roach flavored ice cream, it's delicious.
Jeff, just out of curiosity, how many questions was that the answer to? All of them. What does Asmodeus smell like? Roaches, just like the album An Ode to a Roach. Did the guys play any tricks on you on set? They did. They put a bunch of roaches in my dressing room, just like An Ode to a Roach. Well done, sir. Great job.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up. Jeffrey Vincent Parise. All right, so